Hi everybody, Mike Michaels here, and we're at the Arbuckle Futurity this week, and we're joined with a special guest, Mr. Jody Galyean. Welcome.
How are you doing today?
Good. So Jody's been doing all the good in the limited divisions here lately, so we thought we'd catch up with you a little bit. You're all the talk of the limited. All the guys are talking about it, obviously, for many different reasons. So explain a little bit. I mean, you're a $4.2 million rider.
Right.
You won the Futurity back in '86 on Royal Silver King.
Right.
And then your training program kind of slowed down, obviously, as you're getting older. And
I had some back troubles and wasn't able to ride as many horses and stuff here in the last few years and stuff. So just been going to the Super Stakes and the Derby and stuff. I was third at the Derby last fall and had 2 of the Super Stakes a year ago. So just been sort of going to the major shows, but I can't do what I used to do.
Yeah, well, and it's been fun to see you show up at those shows. I mean, you come mounted, normally Lloyd or one of your boys has got you mounted.
Wesley, got me on. So it's been fun for me. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet, because it takes kind of some of the hard work out of it.
Don't have to do the grind, you get to do the enjoyment part of showing the horses.
You've done your share of grinding back in the day.
That's very true. That's very true.
So with some of the new rules in the limited and intermediate divisions, depends where you are, but obviously we finished up the Bonanza last week, and the intermediate division there, which is the same as the limited here at Arbuckle, it's a $200,000 2-year rollback, which means if you haven't won over $200,000 in the last 2 years, you're eligible for this class.
Correct.
Obviously you currently are. And at the Bonanza, I believe you showed 5 head in the 4-year-old.
Correct.
And 1 it.
Yes, sir.
You showed 1 in the 5-6-year-old and finished 4th there.
Correct.
Then here at the Arbuckle Futurity, you showed 8 in the 4-year-old. You kind of threw a few extras in there.
They threw a few more at me there.
And then in the intermediate or in the limited, 5-6-year-old, you showed 3 and you won it on Desirous and Metallic, owned by Atwood Quarter Horses.
Correct.
So what's it been like, for you to be able to come back here and show in these classes?
Well, I think it's been a great thing in that it lets you come back and it gets you show some of these other horses, and you get some of these horses on some runs that possibly they wouldn't get to before the non-pros or some of the other people get to show them. So it's sort of a little bit more of a seasoning type thing along with getting to come back and show. There's been a whole bunch of riders that are, 4 or 5 Futurity champions and all of us that are back in that group and showing, and I think there's been a little controversy about where and who should be showing in which limits and stuff, and I think what I'd like to explain to some of the people and some of the audience out there is I think that a lot of people have different opinions of what it should be. I originally, 3 years ago, I started campaigning for that we should have a bottom limit that protects the bottom riders and has a group, and depending on what the money is, so there's no rollback into that group whatsoever.
It's a capped class.
It's a capped class. I have fought from word go. And I still believe that today, that we need a place for that beginner trainer or someone to come in and show and bring his clients and show. Then in the other part, as far as us being able to roll back into what I call the intermediate or whatever, I think that's a good thing. The thing that I think the NCHA and all the show producers, everyone's sort of tweaking things right now, trying to find out what's working, what isn't working for their shows, for their divisions. Some people feel like that the intermediate, that you should have enter the open, take part of that entry fee out, get to show in the intermediate, and have a chance at the open money too, which would be a great advantage for everybody. That's what the snaffle bit does. That's what we ended up doing in the pleasure horse industry a long time ago. So I think everything, you hear lots of controversy and you see comments on Facebook and this about how this isn't fair or that isn't fair. But in my opinion, we're trying to tweak it to where everyone has a chance to come back and show. The show producers get to have more entries. The horses get to have some runs and get seasoned a little bit and stuff like that. So in my opinion, I think it's a good thing for everybody to get to show in all these different divisions.
Right, and I think, like you said, that different shows are trying different things different ways, and it's exposing some holes, and it's exposing some good things and some bad things about those individual classes. And I think the important thing is that we analyze the data, we look at it and see what is the best version, because the 3 levels, so to speak, it's a great thing, but we've also seen, like at Augusta, there just weren't enough entries to make those 3 classes worthwhile.
Well, and I think talking to some of the show producers and stuff from Augusta and everything, some of the entries maybe were maybe up a little bit, but actually the show lost so much money because the practice pen and everything else was down so much. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
We've got to tweak things. Just because you have more entries doesn't mean the show makes more money. And I think that's where a misconception was a little bit too. So I think that's just sort of a trial basis thing that we're all going through right now as far as the NCHA to find where the best slot is. And I think we'll end up somewhere in that, like the Snaffle Bit Association is already doing, to where you have the top class and the intermediate to where they can show, and then maybe have the bottom class. But each show producer in their area, I think that's one good thing we've done. We've sort of left it up to them, like, hey, what's going to work in your area?
Sure.
And what's the best for that part of the country? And I think that's where everybody, there's not one glove that fits everything, stuff like there. And I think the good thing about the NCHA and the entries right now are huge. You had a weekend cutting at Amarillo last weekend, had 230 some entries in a weekend, and it just depends on certain things. And the economy is good, the shows are good. Like here, Della, I think Della sort of proved a point, so to speak. Here, she added $100,000 to the Open. So all the trainers came, all their customers came, the amateurs came, everyone came to this show. So I think that's where everybody can sort of, trying different things to see what makes their show work and whatever like that.
Yeah, and I think it's important. I mean, like you said, what works, let's say at the Super Stakes coming up, if that works, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the formula for these other shows, because they don't have the amount of entries. No,
that's 100% correct. And I'm on the competition committee, and the deal for the Super Stakes, and I think some people think that's set in stone, but it's supposed to be a trial basis to see how it works at the Super Stakes, and things can be tweaked and go on like that. I don't think it's something, unless it's changed since I know about it, but it's supposed to be something that we're trying to see if it works that way. And see, the thing we don't want to happen is we don't want to affect the top end classes in all divisions. We want to make sure that everybody's happy with all the divisions and with everything that's going on. And the key to that is keeping everybody pleased with what class they can show. The fairest way, and we're trying to get it different ways, is people get to go show to where they feel competitive in that level. And that's what we're trying to get done.
Yeah, and I think that's key is people, they can pick and choose what show fits their barn.
That's right.
Their makeup of customers, their horse caliber, and everything else. But like you touched on earlier, I think the limited, that needs to be protected, because like here in the limited, we saw maybe two or three guys that were actually
limited riders. And that's I mean, you can ask anyone on the competition committee. That's one of the first things I came out and said, guys, we have to protect that bottom level. Is you've got to give that the protection. The rest of us and stuff up here in this other division, if we have to show in the Open and then come back into a intermediate class or rollback, so to speak, where we haven't been as busy or don't go to 100 shows a year and stuff like that, then give us a place to come there too. But I think that bottom level, that's the way we grow our sport, with which division it's in. It's from that bottom to protect those people coming up, whether it's in the amateur, the non-pro, or whatever, or the Open. You have to protect that bottom group and give them a place to get seasoned and let them get seasoned with their customers. So that's my opinion on all of it. Yeah.
Well, Jody, we appreciate you stopping by. Congratulations on all the success.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It was fun. It was really good for me just to get to come back and show that many horses and enjoy it. And my back's doing a little better right now, so and stuff like that. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It looked like you just walked into a high-dollar car dealership and said, let's just test drive.
Let's test drive all these cars. So it's been fun for me, and I appreciate my son and Lloyd and all of them, everybody helping me out, let me do that.
Well, it's been
fun
watching.
And the customers, I say thank you to the customers for letting me show their horses too.
Yeah. Well, good luck, and we'll see you down the road.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel right here and receive notifications for all the latest videos we post here. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we'll keep you updated on everything that's going on in the cutting arena near you. Thanks for watching.